Hi, my name is Cliff Lenderman. I have a school in Tacoma, Washington. My rank, I'm a 7th degree black belt. I've got rank in a lot of different arts. I've had the great opportunity to train some of the great masters that we have in the United States. I trained with Sifu Danny DeSanto. He gave me all my Filipino background, the introduction to Bruce Lee's Jeet Kune Do concepts and Silat. I also trained with Master Chai Siddhasut, who was my Thai boxing instructor, my good friend and teacher Francis Fong from my Wing Chun training, and Stephen Hayes. I attribute all my ninjutsu training that I did with him in the early 80s. As I said, I'm a school owner. I've always had a passion to be involved in the martial arts. I'm a father with 3 great children. I have a 21-year-old son and a 24-year-old son that work in my martial art academy, who are both 3rd degree black belts. I've used my martial arts to do acting. I've done some film roles, a film called American Shaolin, King of the Kickboxer 2, and Super Fights, and I did some other acting on regular television shows. I took the knowledge that I had in martial arts and I used it into athletic development. I worked several seasons with the Seattle Seahawks in the mid-80s, 1992 and 93. I've also used my training in martial arts to work with military groups and SWAT and Special Forces. I've also, with my acting background, I started doing a radio show locally in my hometown, and I do a monthly audio CD for Maya, which is a professional organization that I'm sure most of you are aware of, that put out a monthly kit, and I do the audio CD and I do interviews with prominent martial artists around the country and school owners that can be able to give information to help schools grow. And right now we are at the Kovar's Satori Academy for their ProMac, their annual get-together for their instructors, so we're doing a kickoff down here. I first got involved in martial arts. I was about 32 years old. And I remember when I was in high school, I tried martial arts because I always had a passion. I think when I was about 6 years old, I bought a judo book and I wanted to learn martial arts, but my father couldn't afford it. We were in the military. So I saw a instructor at a gym that I was working out at a local community college. We were playing basketball, and I saw him doing karate, and I was so excited, and I went over and asked the instructor, and I was on my pathway to getting in my martial art career. And did I know that I would actually be a professional martial artist? I never dreamed that would happen, but the journey took me to where I opened my commercial school about 15 years ago. My advice for other martial artists who are just getting into the field or maybe have been trying to be successful in martial arts is just never give up. I can't tell you how many times when I first went to auditions and I tried to get into acting, I was turned down and rejected. I actually even made a little mini film to kind of showcase my acting ability and martial art ability, and I went to the first film market that we had in Las Vegas, and I got turned down by everybody and rejected to the point that I almost went home and cried about it. But again, it's persistent things that we learn in martial arts that I kept to it. And a dear friend of mine, Keith Strandberg, who became a friend, a producer of American Shaolin, he saw one of my videotapes, and then I did an audition, and it got me into the field. And it was the same way when I pursued the Seattle Seahawks. I was told by everybody it was real difficult, you can't get in, but I continually pursued it as well as the things that we teach our kids and adults in our martial art classes about perseverance. So, my advice is never give up, continue to seek out your passion, and if it's your goal to run a martial arts school or do this for, your hobby, continue on that path. What's my future? Well, I developed a program called Lean and Fit about 5 years ago. I'm very passionate about helping people change their life and manifest the destiny that they choose. And Lean and Fit is about a personal transformation as well as transforming their body. So I've been dedicated to take that program a little bit further and work with kids' obesity and continue to educate America on how to prevent obesity, since that is a real major problem in America and in the entire world today. Also, I continue to challenge myself in other areas. So whatever comes my way, I'm going to take that on as a challenge. I have so many role models that I look up to. Looking at my father, looking at even my kids, and I think the biggest role models for me are people who really have extraordinary stories, people who have really persevered and done things that I think that it's almost impossible to do. And this is some of just the ordinary people that we don't even know about, but the stories that I read in the newspaper or see a news clip on people that have done incredible things because they believed in it. But I would say that one of my biggest role models is a football coach that retired, Frosty Westring. He's my hero. He was the individual that got me turned on to seeking and following through goals. He taught me about goal setting. I came in and worked with his football team, and in exchange, he taught me a lot. In that today we have kept our relationship very close, and he's always been my inspiration. He's, I think, 75 years old, and he moves and acts like he's probably in his 50s. I would just like to say, in closing, Farbars has been a dear friend of mine for about 15 years, and I'm very pleased with what he's done as an individual. And to develop martial info is an incredible thing, because it has been a resource for other martial artists to seek out, network, to find out what's happening in the world, and attract students out there who are searching. So I'd like to say thank you, Farbars, for being my friend and inviting me to share on your new video program.